Welcome, welcome. I think I never know. I never know. I never have any confidence if this is working or not. I don't know. One of these days maybe I'll have some confidence, but it just sure doesn't come easy. But hello everyone. Hello, hello. We see from New Zealand. Hi Leslie. Florida. I hope it's warmer in Florida than it is here. It is cold. Cold. It's all we can say when we go outside. It's cold. It's down in the teens. It's cold. Florida, hopefully you're warmer than we are. But it's all good. We're happy to be here and happy that you're all here. And we got some good questions. And you'll be the ones to decide if it's good answers. But if you can hear me, just let me know you can hear me. And I will just get started. We have a full 20 minutes, is why I say that. A lot of times I can goof around a little bit, but we have a full 20 minutes. Well, everybody's saying hello, so you must be able to hear me. 90s next week. Oh, give me some 90-degree weather. Woo-hoo. But if it's 90 now, Sherry, just think what it's going to be this summer. Okay, so let's get started. And we're going to get started with our questions and answers. Hi, everybody. Oh, good. I always love it when there's no problems to be abound. Maybe we'll go through tonight and have no problems. All right, we're going to start with this first image. Everybody's saying hello. But we're going to start with this first image. And the question is, she wants to make, well, first off, I shouldn't skip the first part. The first part is, let me take that away for a minute, is she's going to be a mother of the groom. Her son's getting married. And she's talking about different outfits. You know, and it's so funny because whenever somebody asks me about this, I always have one answer. Do that sheath dress. And she even says in her sheath dress fits really well. So she wants to know if she can do the sheath dress. Yes, 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 and yes. Unless you want to look shorter and wider. But the sheath dress all the way across the board is the best thing you can wear. I would not flare the hem. I would wear it as short as you can stand it and as curved as you can stand it. That's the way to look your best. It's just a uniform. Don't take it personal. It's just a uniform. If you decide you want to change it up or do it different, those are all your options, but just know that one look is the way to go, and that's the sheath dress. It's not political, it's not monetary, there's no argument, no debate. Sheath dress. Don't know how to make it any more clear. I hope I've done that. I hope I've made it crystal clear. Okay, so the next question is, though, is she's got Lana's jeans. That's why I had this picture. There's two questions on this page. She's going to take Lana's jeans and she wants to make them higher. The waist is higher. In some of our jeans today, they're waisted jeans. So you want to add to that length. But where you add, if you notice number 1 is the front, you want to add below the pocket. It almost looks on this picture like the crotch is the pocket, but the crotch is the crotch. And you can make the crotch longer, that's what you want. But you're going to add below the pocket. The pocket is, a cut-on pocket. It's a little different kind. In the back, number 2, you're going to add below the yoke. You do not want to change the yoke line. You do not want to change the width of the yoke. It will just look really silly. So none of those other pieces need to be changed. The only places you're going to add is, look on number 1, it's below the pocket. Number 2, in the back, it's below the yoke. That's it. Pretty simple. And like I said, I'll monitor your questions so that I can see, even if your questions come a little bit afterwards, I'll monitor the questions to see if they can come. Okay, this next picture, I love this. This is actually, I stole this, you guys. She's actually from the blouse fitting class. You can still get into that blouse fitting class. They are doing marvelous, wonderful things. And even if you don't have time to do it for yourself, you can steal off everybody else who's doing it so beautifully. So let me show you this. And this is her, I don't know, I'm going to make sure you can see all of it. I'm just going to bring it in just a little bit just to make sure you can see all of it. There you go. Okay, so I want to show you, there's some criticism that I have of this, or, I don't mean, just some tweaking. She's done a beautiful job. If in the front picture on the left, we're going to start from the left and go to the right. And on the front view, I'm going to show, you'll see some little diagonal wrinkles from the shoulder. That's simply because she has a seam allowance on there and the sleeve hasn't been sewn in. So if you were really serious about getting this just perfect, you would cut a seam allowance off of the sleeve so you could see exactly where it was going to hit you. But because she's got a seam allowance, and as it goes around her underarm, it pulls there because there's too much width. There's a seam allowance, too much width. So do not regard that. The only thing I would suggest is you put in front vertical darts, because now, I don't know if she has a tummy or not. You can't tell, but you can tell that it goes out, and it goes out because there's no darts. And once a dart is stitched, you cannot see the size of it. So I would strongly suggest that you put in vertical darts, front and back. And again, I don't care how big they are, I don't care how small they are, they're going to make you look thinner. First off, they're vertical lines, so they're going to make you look thinner. The middle picture there, you can see those diagonal drag lines that are coming below the bust dart. It's because the dart itself is not large enough. So whatever cup size she's using, go up a cup size. Go larger in the dart. And if you go larger in the dart, you can use that same muslin. Just make the dart larger until the wrinkles go away. It will make the side seam shorter, and you can just add to the bottom to make the front and the back match. Okay, then if you look at the back picture, she just needs some vertical darts. She just needs some vertical darts to take away that bag, put the waist where the waist is, and she will be good to go. And she's done an incredible job. I got to tell you, I'm just so pleased with the progress that I see with the ladies in that class. It makes me a very happy camper. So, and then she said she wanted to know if she could combine the bust dart and the waist dart to do a French dart on this top. And yes, you could. Absolutely, you could. So the question comes back, can a French dart be eliminated? A French dart is a bust dart and a waist dart combined. You can never eliminate a dart. You can move it, you can release it, but you can never eliminate it. So the answer to that question in a simple form would be no. Okay, so those are my answers. Now keep in mind, on that blouse, I'm going to go back and just show that again. The question that she asked me is, instead of having a bust dart and a waist dart, could she do a French dart on a woven? And absolutely, yes, you can. You can combine those two darts into a French dart. Okay, so this next question, and I don't have a photo here because I didn't think we need one, is she bought the leather and she wanted to know, let's see, she said, how do I press the darts to get them flat in the leather? And just use an iron, just like you would fabric. I think sometimes we think leather will melt. Leather is not plastic, it's leather. And I say that only because it's beautiful to work with. It presses beautifully. Now, you can turn a temperature too hot, just like you can for any fabric. So when you're dealing with leather, just use your iron and do a test little swatch to make sure your iron. I would put it, I don't put it like on a poly setting, put it on a low setting, but those darts will press beautifully, absolutely beautifully. You will not have any problem. And there is a video that we have on that. Leather is for every body, and it goes all over how to deal with leather, all the different variables and options and all that kind of stuff of what you can do. Okay, so this next thing that I want to show you is, this is actually coming in. It's for the pattern of the month. This is Becky's jacket, 928, the pattern of the month. But I wanted to show you this because this is a case where the shoulders are just simply way too wide. She wanted to know what these wrinkles are caused from. And what these wrinkles are caused from is, it's hard to see in this photo, and the other photo that I got was not any better. But the shoulders are just way, way too wide for her. The shoulders should be like 2 inches in. So you can take your armhole and your armhole template, and you can put that like 2 inches in and redraw that, and all those wrinkles will go away. All of those wrinkles will go away. Those wrinkles, and that's why that oversized look is just never ever a good one. And I know there's plenty of people who love them and you wear them. I get it. It's just not flattering. And, whether you decide to do that or not is cool, but it is just not a flattering look. And a lot of times, interestingly enough, it's much worse from the back than it is from the front. And that's why I showed you that back view, because look at the way this looks. She would never see that unless you literally took a chance to see it or took a picture or whatever, or had somebody take a picture. You would never see that. And that's simply from those shoulders seams just being way too wide. Okay, this next one is let me pull it up for you so you can see. This is just an idea of a pattern that she wants me to do, or a change that she wants me to do. And I'm going to throw it back at you. Whenever it's pattern making, I won't answer it. I think you guys know that by now. But the base is 197. It's Candosa's top. It's adorable. It's just a cute little top. But this is a base of Candosa's top. It's only got half of Candosa's top, and then the seam is re-angled. But, we just can't do pattern making. We just can't do it. There's pattern making videos. You guys know once every few years, we do pattern making classes. And I'm sure you're tired of me telling you that the more you know about pattern making, the happier sewer you will be. Because you'll be able to do more, I hate to say more control, because control sounds like sometimes such a negative word. It's not really control. You have more resources. I guess that's the way to do it. Okay. This one does not have a photo. When making pants. Oh, and she knows she has to add in the crotch length. Can she just add at the top of the center back? And y'all know the answer to this. It's probably why she asked it. The answer is no. You have to slash like you do a sway back. You have to put it in the right place. You can't put, like if you have a sway back and you take it off the bottom, it doesn't help the sway back. If you have a crotch length that's too long, you need it at the hip line, you have to add it at the hip line. But I love that you're still trying, and I love that you want the answer to be yes, but the answer is not. The answer is no. The pant has to be slashed, and it has to be, that's why we make a muslin, so that you can fix that. But once you make that muslin, make a crotch template so that you don't have to slash every pant out there. You can just draw a crotch template onto the next one you do. So that will make it easier. How's that? Does that make sense to everybody? Okay. Okay, so the next one now is, let's see what we've got here. Okay, so she wants me to tell her how to do this. She wants me to give her, she's in the pattern making class, and she wants to do it. And she, she really, I love this, you guys. She has a spirit of, I can do this. And the beauty is you can. But the analogy that I have to give you is that I can play tennis. And you're so determined that I can play tennis. So you grab a racket and you go out on the courts, and somebody just annihilates you. And they annihilate you because you don't have the skills. You have the willpower. You have the mental willpower, but you don't have the physical skills. You can't do it. So I'm never one to say to someone, you can't do that. Of course you can do it, but you have to learn the skills. You have to learn the knowledge. You can't just do it because you mentally say, I can do it, man. And you see, there's a clear distinction, and I have to point out that difference. Otherwise, you'll walk out onto the court and you'll get annihilated. Or you'll spend 3 weeks trying to do this and you'll get annihilated because you don't have the skill set. Now, the good news is you do have the pattern making video. So that will give you the skills, the pattern making video, the whole reason you took the class. You may have fallen behind, but that whole entire class, the reason I gave you that DVD as part of the class is because you have the class. It's on the DVD. So you go in there and you do how to make gathers. You can fast forward it, how to, cut out the back and how to stabilize. You can just short circuit those places to know that I guarantee you can understand all of it. Nothing is complicated. Nothing, especially once you get the basics about moving darts and, all of those things. It just you're doing the same thing over and over. You're just doing it to a different part of the body. So keep in mind, while I can't do it for you, there's just no way I have the time to, can you imagine drafting every pattern that was sent my way by you all who have these fabulous ideas? I mean, I know you get that it's just not possible. I know you get that. It's not possible. And while I would love to help you, it's just simply not possible that I can help every picture that comes my way. I would love to. I would love to. Maybe one day I'll be able to, but right now it's simply not possible. But if you had the DVDs and you say gathers, and then you went back and said, okay, remember that when you make patterns, there's only 5 basic pieces: bodice front, bodice back, skirt front, skirt back, and sleeve. If everything comes from those 5 basic pieces, all you have to do is get the 5 basic and then transfer them into this design that you want. And if you view that video, it will teach each of those steps as to how to do it. You don't have to learn it. You don't have to retain it. You just have to really see it and understand how to do it. So I need you to separate the enthusiasm of I can do it from having the necessary knowledge to understand how it is done. And there's a difference between those two. Okay, hello from a very chilly Georgetown, Texas. I know we're chilly here too. I think my right shoulder, neck to top of the arm, is shorter than my left. No matter what knit top I wear, I always have to pull it back up toward the neck on the right. What would correct this? No, it doesn't have anything to do with that. It's probably a rounded back, or it's a shoulder blade issue. It's the back. Because when you're pulling it, when it's shifting because the garment has no stability. So I would want you to get specific, Sherry. You can email me, or we're actually going to Italy next week. We can talk this about Italy, and if you want to bring a couple of garments that do it on you, I'm happy to look at those garments, and I can look at the garment and tell you what the problem is. So if you have space, if you don't have space to bring this stuff to Italy, don't worry about it. We can answer it. You won the Peggy Sager's giveaway, so whenever you take me up on that, we can solve this problem. But just to do it on your own, you've got to recognize and be specific as to what garments are doing it and what is the difference in those garments. Where are the darts? What does the neckline look like? All of those things. And you got to be really specific with it. Okay? Okay, this next question, let's look at this picture. She wanted to know what is a flat fell seam. So the first thing I'm going to do is to make sure you understand it is a fell, F-E-L-L. A flat fell seam is the correct terminology. We've got lots of different spellings of it. It's a flat fell seam. When you do a flat fell seam, you recognize that, and I like this picture because you can see that it wraps around. This is a sewing question. The seam is sewn, it's wrong sides together. The seam is sewn to, one is cut shorter than the other, and then it's wrapped and stitched down for a second time. It's like it is the denim. It is the inseam of a denim pant. The question is, though, can you do it on the inseam and the outseam? And the answer is no. Now, keep in mind, there's ways to usurp that, and I'm not going to tell you no, because you'll say, well, no, I could do this. So a flat fell seam is typically done on a sewing machine. There are ways you could do it by hand. And so, yes, then you could do it on both the outseam and the inseam because you'd be doing it by hand. And you can get your hand up a pant leg where you couldn't get a machine up a pant leg on the outseam, on the inseam. So I'm not sure you'd want to do it on both seams. It might look a little homemade. You know, I'm just going to throw out all these things that come to my head, okay? A flat fill seam is done on the inseam of a pair of jeans. The reason it is done on the inseam is because that was the seam that when they were riding horses, which is the history of this flat fill seam, that was the seam that took more abrasion. And the flat fill seam was designed to take more abrasion on typically a denim. It got it started in a denim. It doesn't mean it hasn't gone to other places and done other things, and it's fine to do all of that. But that was the origin of the seam. It was done on the inseam of a denim, and it was to prevent abrasion on the seam so that it wouldn't come apart. So it was doubly stitched, and you can see it's wrapped, so it makes a very strong and durable seam. If you want, clearly, you could do it on on another seam if you did it by hand. You could do it if you were doing flat fill seams on a jean jacket. You could do it on every seam because it's not on a jean leg now. It's actually on a garment that opens up. And so you could do it on every single one. So when I'm asked the question, could you do it on all seams, it's a little bit tricky because I don't know if she's asking me, could you do it on all seams on a pant, or all seams on a blouse, or all seams? But if it's all seams on a pant by machine, no. All seams on a blouse, yes, because it opens up straight. All seams on a jacket, yes. On a two-piece sleeve, no, it would be difficult to get your machine in there. And so for that reason, just think about, I think if you can answer this question yourself, if you understand where you typically see it, how it's made, how it's created, and then you can kind of answer those questions for yourself. Thank you. I'm bringing a large, nearly empty suitcase. That's good, because the place we're going the first day, you will absolutely drop your jaw and you will need that empty suitcase. It probably is shorter since breast cancer surgery. I have this problem, as doctor told me, the one shoulder pulls in closer to the body. Cynthia, be careful to speculate that, because there's no reason, there's nothing that can't be fixed after breast cancer surgery. Nothing. The body is different, the garment can be made different. So you don't have to settle. And I'm going to be careful as I say that word. I don't mean any negatives to it, but you do not have to settle that since you've had breast cancer surgery, therefore I have to put up with shifting garments. Not the case. I can make that garment work and adapt to me exactly as my body is without any shifting. Okay? She did have a breast cancer. I know Sherry, and she did have breast cancer vasectomy. But yeah, it's the opposite shoulder giving her the grief. So again, you guys don't speculate as to why it is, because whatever the body is, I can take it, I can make the clothing adapt to it, and I can absolutely get that garment to fit to be exactly what I want it to be. Okay? All right. Good conversation, ladies. All right, so we are at our time frame, and like I say, I always like to keep these to where we are really trying to rein them in, because I know as you watch them back, it's important that we, you can just like highlight through them or fast forward through them and get to the answer you need to. My concern is, and I love to chat with you guys, I hope you know that, but if we have a lot of chatter, it distracts from trying to actually get these questions answered, if that makes sense. So, y'all know I love you. But I'm going to say goodnight and just hang out for a minute here to see if there's any questions pertaining to the answers that I gave, just to something that you didn't understand or something that we put out there that you weren't sure about, that you need clarification on. Oh, Bethsima, I did the sheath dress for my son's wedding. It was great. I love hearing that, because sometimes I think, you guys, we think the sheath dress, it's a wonderful, perfect little uniform. You just can't nail it any better. And It's age appropriate. It doesn't matter what age you are. It's age appropriate. So here's hoping that you really understand how beautiful it is and how well it works and how good it is. Hey, you guys, can we do a few announcements? We have that serger giveaway going on. The Kai scissor and the serger giveaway. That's a perfect time to do this. We have a stay tuned for Tuesday. Tuesday we're going to announce a it's called a special collection. I'm kind of excited, but anyway, hope this works out. Let me read the thing. I have questions from the pant fitting class. Have emailed you personally at Peggy@silhouettepatterns.com. I did not receive it. So go ahead and do it again. Peggy at HOUETTE patterns. Silhouette Patterns is one word. Don't put a space in there. Silhouette Patterns, all one word, .com. What number is the sheath dress? You have two options. You have 4200 is for woven. 4218 is for knits. Okay? All right. All right, you guys. You all, I'm going to say good night. Have wonderful, wonderful weekend. Stay warm. The whole